everybody. A few weeks ago we talked about organizing our time and using calendars and things like that. This week we're going to be talking about organizing our minds in terms of how we think about things. The concept of out of sight, out of mind needs to not be a thing because it doesn't make any sense. We do all these horrible things for our environment for sheer convenience, whatever that even like. So I'm going to be just going through and listing some of the things that we can do to make our lives easier, but also doing it in an environmentally friendly way, if that makes sense. So last week we talked about plastic bags. In Jamaica, I was there in April, and they actually call these scandals. They don't call them plastic bags. It's called a scandal because when it's floating down the street, that creates a scandal of the environment and what it actually stands for, which is a genius name. So say no to scandals. We talked about using them as garbage bags, which to me makes more sense actually than going out and buying bags for purpose of throwing them out. Like I'm not trying to sound judgy. There's no other way that this is going to come across, but I need someone to explain why it makes sense to go out and purchase a bag for the sole purpose of throwing it away. Like you're spending money, you're throwing away money, essentially. Oh, it's garbage day, so, well, see you later. You know, it doesn't make sense. Someone brought up the argument, well, these bags are special because they keep in the odors from all the thrown out food, and I'm sorry, but that's not an argument for me because why are you throwing away food? You shouldn't be buying so much food that you need to be throwing it away. So again, organizing our thinking in terms of organizing how we shop, how we consume, and what we're wasting. Why are we wasting things to the point that we need to buy special bags to store those things until we throw them away? Something to think about. The next thing is water. I mean, wasting water, that has nothing to do with organization, but it's something we need to talk about. So I drink only water. That's all I have in the house. I don't drink alcohol. Water's free. It's clean. In this country, we're fortunate. So this is what I drink. There are times where I have a glass, it's sitting around after a while. No one wants to take a glass that's been sitting there for a couple of hours and re-drink it. So what do most people do? They pour it down the drain. Again, I have plants in my house, so if I have that situation, I made a mess. But, water the plants. Don't use clean water to water the plants when you're just going to be pouring things down the drain. Same with brushing your teeth, washing your hands. When the soap's on, when the toothbrush is in your mouth, turn the water off. And then turn it back on when you need it. It's a simple thing. A few years ago, well, more than a few years ago, this was in university, I was working at a greenhouse. So I worked with a bunch of Mexican people who I have to say, I'm not going to get political here, but they are the hardest working and kindest people I have ever met. So on behalf of all of us who have a heart, I apologize for what is happening to you right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we were driving and doing a delivery, and there was a man watering his lawn, and the driver laughed and he said, "You guys make me laugh." And I thought, oh, thanks. Took it as a compliment. What do you mean? And wait, what do you mean? He said, "That man is using clean water to water his lawn." I said, "Yeah, so it looks green." He goes, "And then it grows, and then you waste gasoline to cut it." And I mean, I never thought of it. This is how we grew up in this country. You water your lawn so it looks green, and then you mow it once a week. When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous. Yeah, we are wasting water. We're paying for that water to water the lawn so that we can then pay for gasoline to put in our lawnmower to mow said lawn. I don't know. That had nothing to do with organization, but kind of weird. Something to think about. Again, another thing. In the KonMari method, we talk about reusing things quite often. Shoe boxes for storage. Last week, I used a Kleenex box to store the scandals, if you will, so that when I need them for garbage, I can pull them out and it's easy. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Reusing things makes a lot of sense. Why would I go out and buy a $20 container to store my bags when I can just use a shoebox and it fits in the drawer perfectly? Again, think about our patterns and how we do things, and we need to change that for purpose of our environment. The last thing I'm going to talk about is shopping. When we go shopping, just in for clothing, general, like go to the mall. If you go to a higher end store, they always want to wrap your thing with tissue paper, wrap your purchase. I freak out every time. Not really like freak out, but I like, no, thank you, please don't wrap it, please. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But it doesn't make sense. I always say I'm an environmental nerd and that's all I need to say after they leave me alone. But why would you waste paper to wrap up your purchase, to bring it from the mall to your car, from the car to your home, where you then unpack it, throw it in the laundry bin for you to wash? And then that tissue paper goes who knows where. Again, doesn't make sense. Please think about how we're living our lives, because this is going to affect not my kids, because I don't have any, but those of you especially who have kids and who are going to have family lineage going on for years. It might not last that long because of what we're doing to our planet. So please organize your thoughts and organize your living in terms of what we're doing to save where we live. That's all for this week. See you next week.